I'm going to lay out a simple step-by-step approach to make disciples that is modeled after the ministry of Jesus. There's going to be 10 steps to this that by the 10th step, it's actually reproducing. So here we go. Step number 1, it all starts with Jesus and then it goes to us. So we have to be serious about our faith, our walk with Jesus, our discipleship if we're going to help somebody else. You can't just be in total rebellion and be like, well, I'm going to help that person follow Jesus. You got to get serious about your walk with Jesus first. Second is to pray. Pray about who to invite. God, who do you want me to disciple? Send somebody, open the door, bring the names to mind, get some paper out, begin making a list. 10 names, 20 names, 30 names, 40 names. Pray over the list about who to invite. Jesus, before he invited and appointed the 12, prayed all night in the Gospel of Luke. So pray about who to invite and then invite them, step 3. Number 4, Jesus said that disciples are made through baptizing and teaching them to obey everything he commanded. When you disciple someone, you need time in the Word with them, specifically in the teachings of Jesus, not just to know the teachings of Jesus, but to live the teachings of Jesus, and for you to be living the teachings of Jesus, and do this in a mutual way. It's not just me over you, and there's hierarchy, and you better live this. No, it is mutual together because you're both on this Jesus journey. Jesus is the one in charge. You're not the one in charge. You gotta remember that one. That'll save you a lot of trouble. Number 5, Jesus didn't just teach. He actually made disciples in a holistic learning environment. He took them places. He showed them things. They had downtime. They had rest time. They had times at meals around tables. They probably played together, laughed together. They really, really got in deep life-on-life relationally with each other. That's all part of intentional discipleship, helping them become more like Christ through time with Christ, shoulder to shoulder, eyeball to eyeball. And Jesus didn't invite hundreds or thousands. He had his 12. Sometimes he had his Peter, James, and John. And as you invite and different numbers of people respond, it may be just one person. It's okay, we're one-on-one. Maybe 2 or 3 people respond and you can say, I'm praying about this. It looks like we got a group of 3. Or you might look at the group of 3 and go, that person really just needs to have some one-on-one time with me. And so maybe you get a group of 2 or 3 and some one-on-one. There's not a pattern for that. There's not a formula for that. You're going to have to figure out how to group up to get people what they need. That just takes prayer. And it also takes some experience. The group setting can be wonderful because they can actually learn from each other and engage each other in a way that's really not the same one-on-one. So Jesus didn't just teach. He did other things with them. And one of the things, number 6, that Jesus did was he modeled so much for them. He showed them how to do things. And sometimes we have to model for people things like confession, things like accountability, things like how do you reconcile or resolve sin whenever you mess up. If I mess up, how do I show you what that looks like? It's called apology. And sometimes people have a hard time saying, I'm not ready on this discipleship journey because they're like, I don't know enough. I'm going to mess things up. I'm going to hurt somebody. Well, those are valid concerns. Maybe you aren't in a position to disciple someone. That's valid. However, just being afraid you might mess up sometime, you're actually, in messing up, having an opportunity to show them Christ-likeness. When I mess up, this is the thing that I do. I'm going to try to make it right again. It's not about being perfect. It's about showing them how to live the life in real time, in real mess-ups. So modeling is so important. Number 7 is a shift. Because at first, you are ministering to them. You are discipling them, disciple making. I'm discipling you. But at some point, there's a shift in the process where the ministry goes from me serving you to you serving. Now, you're going to be serving other people. So Jesus didn't just minister to them. He also ministered with them. And then he also watched them minister. So he would delegate, send, and then he would debrief when they would come back. And he would explain things to them. Number 8, make a list straight up of just the teachings of Jesus. The core teachings that you want to make sure they understand and are living out in their day-to-day life. And make a second list of the kinds of things that Jesus taught his disciples. The kinds of things like how to pray, how to study the Bible, how to fast, how to talk with people, how to go out on mission, how to proclaim, share the good news with people. Those are skills. And those kind of skills have to be taught. Someone has to equip. Someone has to train. So make a list of skills and work that list and teach them to be proficient. First with your help, but eventually in your absence. That's how Jesus operated. It's like first with his help, but then in his absence. The reason he did it while he was still there was so that he could help them so that they would be prepared when he was gone. Same is true with us. We're not always going to be there. to be able to be helpful. Number 9 is where it gets awesome. It really gets pretty awesome at 8 and 7 when you delegate and now they're learning skills. That's just really a sweet spot when you start watching them do these things. Number 9 gets extra sweet as now you're saying, hey, you might consider starting a discipleship group. You might start considering inviting people. Guess what? That's how I started. It's like you've gotten serious about your walk, step 1. Did you know that I was praying for people to disciple and your name kept coming to mind? Or I ran into you at the store and we had that conversation. You remember that? That was step 2. That was the second thing that I did. Just like in Luke, where Jesus prayed before he appointed the 12, made some selection, some invitation, he prayed all night. So I was praying and your name was coming to mind. See, you're telling that story. You're connecting them with the process. They go, oh, that's how this started. Yeah, remember that we got in the teachings of Jesus and we started living this stuff out. You can do that. You can show someone how to do that. It's amazing. And then you send them out and maybe help them troubleshoot a little bit, help them kind of get started, but they need to go do this on their own. Now you have 3 generations, you, them, and those they're discipling. It's incredible. It's a beautiful thing. You're going to absolutely be in such a sweet place when this happens. And number 10, check on them. Check up on them. How are you doing? What bottlenecks are you hitting? Do you have any concerns? Anything, that I can be praying for about this for you? And just talk with them. Keep in the loop. And now all of a sudden you have a Jesus-styled, Jesus-imitated process of making disciples that even if you forget everything I've told you, go right back to the Gospels, pay attention to how he did it, imitate his example, and you're going to just see transformation in people's lives. It's the coolest thing. So let me know what approach, if you have an approach. 95% of Christians don't have an approach, but you are a special audience and you all are on the ball. So I imagine a number of you have an approach. Please share in the description what your approach is when you make a disciple, and let's learn from each other. That's the beautiful power of the collective mindset here at Revolution of Ordinaries. Is there's so much value in these comments that you all add. It just blows my mind. I thank the Lord for you. So let's share that value in the comments. Be glad to answer any questions. I'm going to put a link to a PDF so you don't have to go back through all of this to lay this out for you very simply. You can download, and I'm here to help you. And in the meantime, I've got another video that I think will bring even more clarity to this for you. I hope you watch, and we will talk in the comments. Take care.